wrestling fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble! I'm back, so deal with it. Let's do this! Finally, The Rock has come back!
Live TV is awesome.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome back, folks, to WrestleRant Radio right here on EC Radio for the first time in nearly 2 months. It feels like it's been ages, RJ, since we've been sailing alongside each other. It's been crazy with all the snow. I almost thought we weren't going to have a show here today.
I swear, I thought we were going to have snow today.
Again, there wasn't even any transportation here in the Boston area for fucking, weeks. But still, we are back here today. Couldn't have come back on a better week with everything going on right now. Fastlane, WrestleMania, Rumble, Seth Rollins,
NXT
TakeOver.
Rival.
Yeah, Rival. I'm thinking TakeOver, Rival, same thing. But got a hell of a show here today. We're being joined by my good friend Arden Franklin. He's been on the show here today. He's been on the show here today before. But Arden, how you doing today? Sorry, say that again. I had your volume off. Say that again. Sorry.
Oh, my bad, man. I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Not the best way to kick off the show, botching, much like Seth Rollins did on Twitter last night. Not necessarily his fault, but we'll kick it off with that, actually, because that's been the hottest topic in all of wrestling for the last 24 hours. And a lot of people like you and myself, RJ, did not know about it during Raw, and we were kind of asking about it, and I didn't want any answers, because there were some pictures going around, some that you didn't want to see, some that you did want to see, so it depends on who we're talking about here. So for the bottom line, for those that don't know, and I mean, I don't know how you couldn't know, but before we get into our NXT TakeOver Rival predictions, Raw review, Seth Rollins here. So during the course of Raw last night, apparently some pictures of him leaked online. But even before that, some pictures, some nude pictures, some racy photos of some NXT diva who is not on NXT TV right now. I think her name's Zahara or something like that.
Zahara something.
Yeah.
She's in NXT, but she's not on TV.
Yeah, she's like a developmental in training, whatever. So the pictures of her went up, I think, on Seth Rollins' Twitter. I'm pretty sure.
Twitter and his Instagram, I think, at 7:58.
Okay, yeah, so right before Raw started. So that happened, and then the nude photos of Seth Rollins went online. I think shortly thereafter on the same forums on Twitter and on
I think it was
Instagram?
on Twitter and Instagram, yeah.
Okay, so both outlets. So that all happened. They were deleted pretty quickly. Obviously, people picked up on it and whatever else. And the worst part about it was that Rollins had to appear 2 different times in the evening. He was on the show in the start of the night in that opening segment or whatever.
3 times.
In the match with Ryback, yep. And the main event.
4 times then.
4 times?
He
What
was
the other
Sting.
time? Rollins?
Did you see the picture of Sting?
What are you talking? That was Rollins?
It looked exactly like Rollins. I swear to
Rollins,
God.
really?
I swear to God, it looked like Rollins. I looked at it last night.
There's been no report that who it is. So
it
maybe
looked
it is.
like Rollins. I swear to God. Like he had like a wicked bad pony. Like his hair.
Oh, the hair was terrible. Yeah.
And so it looked like Rollins. I'm trying to find it right now.
Maybe it is Rollins, but yeah. So he appeared multiple times during the night, regardless of what the number was, and then he had to go out during the main event later on in the night too. It was crazy. So this guy's pulling double duty. Not even double duty. He's appearing all over the show, and I feel bad for the guy after what happened to him. And technically, it's not his fault. And RJ and I were talking before the show whether it was his fault. Did he cheat on her? That's not really confirmed. He did initiate an apology on his Twitter page last night or early this morning. I forgot what it was. But just a lot of controversy with Seth Rollins right now. So Arden, while RJ's looking up the photo of fake Sting right now, I want to get your thoughts on the controversy. Bottom line is this. Do you think that this is going to affect Seth Rollins' push or career going forward at all?
It shouldn't really affect Rollins' career, to be honest. At the end, man, it's just one big mistake on either side, man. It's just a big mistake by him or just something that's just a really unfortunate situation, man. It's something that happens, especially in today's age, regardless of what you do. You know, if you got pictures out there like that, at some point with the people that use the internet, man, they're going to find a way to leak them. So for him, it's just one of those things you live and you learn and make sure that your pictures are in better hands. But I definitely didn't mind the pictures of the NXT diva. Not at all. I love those pictures.
Exactly. But the problem was that it was actually trending on Facebook earlier today, I think it was, during the afternoon. And my roommate, who kind of casually watches, he found out about the story, and I was telling him about it, and he was trying to look up the story and whatever else, and they had a forum with the pictures of the chick, but when you went to the forum or the news site or whatever else, it wasn't the pictures of the chick, it was the pictures of Seth Rollins. So obviously he was traumatized. Yeah, those are the news websites, pretty much, just kind of, pulling a fast one on you. No pun intended with Fastlane coming up. But still, the jokes were going all over Twitter last night during the main event. It was hysterical, but a pretty unfortunate situation. So I want to get your thoughts on this, RJ. You've been very vocal about this. I want to get your thoughts. Do you think this is going to affect the career of Seth Rollins?
I hope not. I hope it doesn't affect his career. I think obviously he's top heel right now. I don't think this little mishap will really hurt it. I don't think it should have hurt him either. Like they're saying, like, oh my god, like his privates are on internet, but like over the months, how many divas have had like a nip slip or like ass hanging out, like or coochie hanging out? Plenty of divas have had that happen over the years. Like Nikki Bella has had it happen plenty of times.
Yep.
Obviously, that's not intentional, but it happens. Obviously, he didn't intend for this to happen. His Twitter or Instagram got hacked, and then his fiance thought it'd be a good idea to do that. I don't get that at all, but it is what it is, and I think the WWE would be really dumb to. Supposedly they said that I looked online and said that they said like backstage there's no heat.
Yep.
And that he apologized and that they told the rest of the staff to just not bring it up and try to get over it. So
yeah, don't make any jokes about it on Twitter, like the typical John Cena joke.
See, doesn't that look like Seth Rollins on the side?
He's showing me the picture right now. It does not look like Seth Rollins 100%. It probably is. I mean, there's a chance.
It said it was an extra, but it still does look like Seth Rollins.
Yeah, there is a strong resemblance there. I will admit that. But I think the funniest part about all of this is that you and I were talking about this last week on the show when we did it over the phone, was that, and some people made light of this in the joking manner and some in a serious manner, and that the reason why they won't induct Chyna into the WWE Hall of Fame, as they revealed on the riveting Triple H Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast last week, was that if an 8-year-old searched up Chyna, they would find her, past porn career on the internet and stuff like that. Yet with the pictures and whatever else with Seth Rollins, people were making the joke that he's never going to be in the Hall of Fame and stuff like that. I just thought was pretty.
I just think that's so ridiculous because you can go online and see like Trish Stratus.
Exactly. Any diva from
that.
Exactly.
Tori Wilson. She's not in the Hall of Fame yet, but she should be. But
that's
or like Sable.
Yep.
Like.
Yeah, all the divas from the Attitude
Era.
If
you do divas from any time from Playboy, like Christy Hemme, Candice Michelle, all of them, I don't think they'll be in the Hall of Fame, but still.
Yeah, exactly. But I think even though, I don't know, we already talked about this last week, so we don't want to beat a dead horse here, but in the relation that there's really nothing stopping from Chyna going to the Hall of Fame with all that kind of stuff. I made the same point as well. Like, all these divas posed for Playboy back in, even as soon as like a couple years ago, before they went PG, they were still doing it, and it's not even Attitude Era. And I don't know, I just thought that was ridiculous, a ridiculous excuse from Triple H. Yeah. I think it's more because Stephanie doesn't really like her and vice versa, whatever. But going back to the Seth Rollins thing, though, it was you and I and Jean on Twitter yesterday talking about when he's going to cash in, become the next World Heavyweight Champion. So that being said, do you still see Seth Rollins as a future WWE World Heavyweight Champion?
I still see him as a future WWE Champion. I don't think this will hurt him at all. I think it was just a mistake that happened. They'll get over it and move on.
That's not really his fault exactly, so I don't really see him suffering any repercussions from this. He's the top heel in the company right now, so they can't even, it's a thing they can't suffer from right now.
Plenty of people got arrested over the couple of years. It's way worse than this, so.
I go back to Jack Swagger from a couple years ago. When he had that DUI, you remember that? It was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Right before WrestleMania.
Right before WrestleMania. #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. That wasn't suspended, suffered no repercussions from it whatsoever. And, he was never pushed again after that. I don't know if that was the punishment or whatever. He didn't get an entrance at WrestleMania that year. But this is kind of the same thing, even though this was not at all Seth Rollins' fault. So bottom line, he won't suffer any punishment from this, hopefully, going forward. That being said, though, NXT TakeOver Rival tomorrow, live on the WWE Network for free. The WWE Network is free all month long. And someone told me, they tweeted me a picture saying that the network was free for old subscribers, too. And I'm like, sweet, we're finally getting reimbursed for this shit. And then I look at it, and it said for all the customers in the UK that had to wait so long to get it. I'm like, I can understand where they're coming from, but what about us?
Exactly.
And I know we've had it since day one. I understand their case, but we at some point have to get some reimbursement, whether it be like we talked about a couple months ago when we talked about it with the free November, whether it be like half off for the next year, whatever. We have to get I don't know,
Give me
some
a
sort.
$20 gift card at a freaking WWEshop.com.
Exactly.
I'm just happy with that alone.
So I could buy another Kevin Owens shirt
Seriously.
as well. So
buy a
something
Finn
like
Balor shirt.
Finn Balor shirt. They got a whole bunch of new NXT t-shirts
Or
out for
Seth
tomorrow.
Rollins. I really need a Seth Rollins shirt.
Seth Rollins shirts look pretty awesome too. But that being said, though, network free for the entire month of February. No better time to start than tomorrow. NXT Rival looking like a great show, which is no surprise. I mean, NXT Arrival almost exactly 1 year ago, which I'm going to go back and watch on the network because I thought that was great and I really want to relive that. But we've had that show, TakeOver 1 with the awesome women's match, TakeOver 3 where we had, who was it that time? It was the Fatal 4-Way show for the NXT title. That was great. And the most recent one in December, which was amazing, between Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville. Great show and the best one so far. As of right now, we'll see tomorrow. But still, before we go any forward, though, Arden isn't really caught up with the current product, so I do want to get his thoughts on NXT as a whole before RJ and I go on with our predictions. So, Arden, what are your current thoughts on NXT and kind of getting used to the product? What are your thoughts on the way that WWE is treating their up-and-coming talent right now?
I think from what I've been seeing from it is that they've been really doing a good job in terms of really preparing divas and superstars for the next level, which is going to Raw or SmackDown. Again, like you said, I'm not really all that used to NXT, but from the things I've seen of it, Triple H has done one heck of a job of building, a developmental brand for those guys there. And it gets to the point where, again, I'm not a big watcher of it, but I see other guys who I respect in terms of their opinions for wrestling, and I see a lot of you guys are just loving the product down there. And that goes down to the superstars there. Again, I know a couple guys. I know, Sami Zayn and things like that. I know that Spencer came up from there. I know Bo Dallas and others. But, hey, man, it's a brand that I definitely can't wait to get into more and more. But they're definitely doing a great job. And when I'm hearing that at times they're putting on better products than the WWE itself, then, heck, you got my attention.
Exactly, and they absolutely are. The last one someone asked me about, is NXT Rival going to foreshadow the upcoming pay-per-view? I think absolutely time will tell as to whether that's going to be the case or not, but the last special back in December absolutely overshadowed TLC.
Oh,
we were talking
God.
about that
It was
when I
so
saw
much better than TLC. I thought TLC sucked
better.
anyways, but
Yeah, I thought it was a decent show, but that show, I thought, what was it called? Our Evolution? That's what it was.
Our Evolution.
It was an amazing show. But I look forward to tomorrow. It's a great show. But tomorrow is shaping up to be an amazing program, so I'm very much looking forward to it. But kicking off the show, though, we'll start with a rumored matchup because it's not yet official. It might be added. Do want to do a prediction for it just for the hell of it in case it is added. Hideo Itami versus Tyler Breeze.
No, I think it is added. I think I saw
Officially?
Yeah,
Really?
I think officially. I think I saw it yesterday in Pro Wrestling. It was.
Okay.
It should be so.
And you were asking a couple weeks ago what the deal was with Tyler Breeze and his future. And like I said, I think they were setting up a feud between him and Hideo Itami. And they finally are going that direction. And we'll see that matchup presumably tomorrow at TakeOver Rival. So what's your prediction for this matchup? Itami all the way?
All the way.
I think
Breeze hasn't done much lately. I think he'll put on a good match, but I think Itami.
Yeah, I think at some point they'll probably give Breeze his due and in the form of some sort of push or something like that. I think he is great, but he has been pretty much floundering since that Fatal 4-Way. What was that, 5 months ago?
Yeah.
So, but I do look forward to the matchup regardless. It looks like it's going to be a good matchup. But I do agree, Hideo Itami. They could have a nice opener and have Hideo Itami go over, have the babyface go over. So no surprise there. Looking forward to that matchup. Up next, no disqualification match. Not very often do we see a no DQ match in NXT, so it's kind of special. Between Baron Corbin and Bull Dempsey. No undefeated streak on the line. As of last week, Baron Corbin is no longer undefeated. He's no longer unpinned. He is still unsubmitted, I guess. But aside from that, it doesn't really matter. He's already suffered his first loss. But your thoughts on this matchup, RJ, and your prediction?
I don't know why they're doing this match again. They had it a couple weeks ago in the tournament, and Corbin pretty much squashed Dempsey, I guess.
Within minutes.
I think it was in a minute and a half, if that. Maybe because it's no DQ, maybe they can work around it. Maybe they're gonna have Dempsey go over. I don't know. I think Corbin should win. I think it'd make more sense. I'm still kind of shocked that he got pinned already, but I guess
that was very
maybe they want to get over the whole undefeated streak now and wait till he gets so hyped up. Then once he loses, it kind of kills his whole thing. So I have Corbin.
Yeah, so I was thinking the same thing in that The program itself, I could see why they're doing it. Obviously, they're just trying to kill time for Baron Corbin, who I think is a self-made star if they continue to build him up the right way. He's got the look, he's got the size, the in-ring skills have yet to be determined. He doesn't have a long enough match yet to kind of determine that. But I do think he has that aura about him that people will be attracted to him no matter what. That being said, though, like you said, they had Bull Dempsey lose to him within minutes. Not once, but twice on the first NXT of the year and then a couple weeks ago in the tournament. So why they would do it 3 times, I have no idea. I don't know what they see. I'm not saying Bull Dempsey isn't good. I think he is pretty decent. But they are ruining any credibility, any momentum that this guy has by having him squashed by Baron Corbin 3 times in a row. Maybe they'll give him a little bit more time tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. But the match itself, if they can give it some time with the no disqualification stipulation, it could be interesting. But I've got Baron Corbin all the way. Up next for the tag team titles, we got the Lucha Dragons going back for the gold. And I think from my records, for the first time in almost a year and a half, we got a title change on NXT. And I'm not counting the specials here. When Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy in the upset of the century beat the Lucha Dragons to win the NXT tag team title. So a rematch tomorrow. Who do you got going over?
Murphy and whatever the guy's name is.
Blake and Murphy.
Blake and Murphy. I can't think of their names are so
because they're enhancement talent.
They're both they're exactly enhancement talent. There's some local guy at the street. It's
exactly.
Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy. Yeah, that's who it is. All right, I go with them. I don't think it would make any sense for them to lose. They just got the titles 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. The match should be good though. They had a pretty fun matchup.
And Kalisto's going gay, so we don't really need him anymore.
Do you think that rumor is legitimate?
It could be. I don't see anything with Sin Cara. I think Sin Cara just sucks.
He has been damaged goods for years.
And then he just goes on Raw and beats people randomly. He sucks, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I don't know why they had him beat The Miz a couple weeks ago. That made no sense to me. And Damian Mizdow last night. He's now 2-0 against those two. And he beat Bad News Barrett about a month ago. I don't know
what. He might be coming back.
Maybe he is. I have no idea. Oh, I don't know about that.
No
Kalisto is the next Rey Mysterio.
Nah, he's the new gay stylist, hairstylist.
I hate that. I
don't even think Kalisto can even hold Rey Mysterio's boots, for Christ's sakes. No one's the next Rey Mysterio.
Well, nobody's the next nobody, but I think he can fill that role nicely given his appeal with the fans. I think of anybody that we've seen in the last couple of years, Del Rio failed, Sin Cara failed, Hunico is Sin Cara but failed. So I think Kalisto in that role can flourish, but Maybe. We'll see. It depends how WWE books these people.
I think if they book him as the lucha guy, he'll be down in NXT quicker than they can say he's on the main roster.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, it all depends on how they market him and stuff going forward.
I think the Sin Cara crap. I think he was dead before he was even.
Yeah, because he was never in developmental. At least Kalisto has been down in developmental for a couple of years now. Sin Cara got signed, and then he got called up immediately, and he was a complete flop. And Del Rio, like we've talked about before, was pushed ASAP right to the moon, and that's why he fell so much quicker. That said, though, I also have Blake and Murphy, still your NXT Tag Team titles, NXT Tag Team Champions. Up next, number 1 contenders match, the finals of the tournament to determine the new number 1 contender to the NXT Championship. Dream match here, Adrian Neville versus Finn Balor. Who do you got?
I think this match is going to be an absolute dogfight.
Yep.
I think this might be better than Owens and Zayn. I think that these two guys, both these guys can put on a good match alone. I think against each other, it'll literally be a dogfight. I want to say Balor. I think he shouldn't lose. I don't think he's lost yet, so I don't think he should. Has he lost yet? I don't think so.
That's a good question.
I don't think he's lost yet.
No.
I don't think he's lost yet. I'm saying Finn Balor. I think it'll be a good fight, though, but I think Finn Balor wins.
Rumor has it that it was this matchup that Neville and Balor had as their former personas, Prince Devitt and Pac, over in Japan a couple years ago. And I don't know who it was, but someone showed that matchup to Triple H, and that's what convinced Triple H to sign Adrian Neville. So kind of some back history there, and that's what ended up getting Finn Balor into WWE as well, just as of last year. That said, though, like you said, this matchup is going to be off the charts if they can give it time, and I'm sure they will.
They'll get plenty of time.
This is NXT after all.
It's a 2-hour show. They'll give them time.
Yeah, this isn't the main roster. We have to be worried.
They don't have freaking 20-minute promos and terrible backstage segments. They
Exactly.
focus on the wrestling.
Exactly. And this match is going to be the epitome of wrestling right here. So I'm looking forward to it. Could go either way. What I'm feeling here, not what I necessarily want to see, but what I think is going to happen. Adrian Neville's going to win. They'll have, and I'll get to my prediction for the main event in a second. I think at the next special, whenever it's going to be at WrestleMania Access, which would be awesome, or in April, whenever, they will do Owens, Zayn, and Neville in a triple threat, because I know that was rumored at one point, that was penciled in for the next live special, not this one, maybe the next one, I'm not sure. Neville versus Zayn versus Owens, 3-way for the championship. I thought they were going to do it at this show. They rushed it into Zayn versus Owens, but it doesn't matter. It's been so well booked. That said, though, I got Neville going over here. Triple threat at the next live special. Mark my words. Not necessarily what I want to see happen. Wouldn't mind it, though.
Could you see a fatal 4-way with them?
With who
Balor,
else?
with Tom, not with Tommy. Balor, Neville, Owens, and
I could see that. I could see that. I think either way, I think Zayn and or Neville are main roster bound, at least after WrestleMania. I think both guys are going to the main roster. So I look forward to that. But I've got Neville here. You've got Finn Balor. So the first one that we're on different sides of the fence on. Up next, another match that I'm really looking forward to. Maybe I'm in the minority here. Fatal 4-way for the Women's Championship. Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch. First ever 4-way for the NXT Women's title. Got a hell of a lot of talent in one matchup. So RJ, your prediction.
It's going to be another good one. I said last time she didn't come up. I think she's got it this time. I'm going Sasha Banks. Boom. Boss.
I said this back at the September live special. It's gotta be Bayley. It's gotta be Bayley. She is the female Sami Zayn, and I'm telling you, her story is there. She's got to win the belt here. But the funny thing is that either way, because the last time we had a 4-way on an NXT live special was Fatal 4-way a couple months ago back in September. You and I picked not the champion.
I think I picked Breeze. And
you picked Breeze. I think I picked Zayn.
Yeah.
And then we said, guaranteed, someone walks out as a new champion, Neville retained. So I'm thinking, Charlotte can't retain.
Charlotte can't retain.
She can't. She's beating everybody.
I think Becky Lynch would be such a wild card. I don't think she'd win either.
No, she's not
She's
ready
like the
yet.
Tyson Kidd of...
Yeah, pretty much.
She's
good.
She's good, but she's not ready yet.
Yeah, she's not ready yet. But I think if Bayley wins, or if Sasha wins, then you put Bayley in chase mode or vice versa. It doesn't matter. Charlotte is going up. I don't want to say like next week, probably after WrestleMania, because if she goes up on the road to WrestleMania, she will be in another Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal like we saw last year, whatever it was. So I do have Bayley going over here. You got Sasha Banks. Either way, I'm looking forward to this matchup. Like I can't remember the last time I looked forward to a women's match like this, but it's going to be great. Main event time, though. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens for the NXT Championship. It's a grudge match. The belt is on the line, unlike originally scheduled. RJ, who do you got?
First of all, I think that was the stupidest thing ever that they weren't going to have it for the title. That would make no sense at all. Thank God they changed that. Like, who gives... Like, if he beat him without the championship, then it would have made no sense. They can't... They had to have the title on the line. I gotta go with my boy. I gotta go Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens?
Kevin Owens.
You're wearing the Kevin Owens shirt.
I gotta go with Kevin Owens.
Like I said before, I'm feeling a 3-way at the next live special, so Kevin Owens wins here. From what I read, Sami Zayn is going... He's currently in some other country. I forgot what it was, doing promotional work. And he's coming back for the special tomorrow, but then he's going back to wherever he is right now to do more promotional work. And they're taping more NXT TV on Thursday and Friday, which he will not be there for. So therefore, in NXT TV time, he's not going to be on TV for at least a month or two. At the very least, at least a month. So that said, I mean, technically he wasn't on he wasn't on TV while he was champion for the first month, because remember, he was injured. But I think this is more of a case of Owens winning the belt, Sami Zayn being written off for the time being, coming back, doing a 3-way for the championship. You do Owens versus Neville on an upcoming episode of NXT. You do some sort of crappy finish. Owens or Zayn has his rematch, 3-way at the next live special. So that's why I've got it going. But either way, it's been 2 months to the day as of tomorrow that Zayn won that belt. Could he lose that championship? You say yes. I say yes. Either way, dude, it's going to be a heck of a match.
Great.
It's going to be a great match, great show. Looking forward to it tomorrow night, WWE Network. Both going to be live tweeting about it. It's going to be awesome. That being said, though, Monday Night Raw last night on the road to WrestleMania, building towards Fastlane. That pay-per-view is shaping up to be pretty solid. I'm not going to say it's looking crappy. It's looking okay.
I don't even know who's on the card, honestly.
The first hour
I know it's Bella and Paige.
For the Divas Championship.
And then it's Reigns and Bryan.
Yes.
And then Usos.
Some other unofficial matches include the tag team title match. Kid and
Cena
Cesaro
and
versus
Rusev.
Cena, Rusev. Ambrose Barrett probably for the IC title.
Yeah.
And a few other matches. That I
Seth
can't
Rollins is
think of.
going to be in there somewhere.
He's got to be on the card somewhere as well, yeah.
I'm going to say Ambrose. Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. There's a few other matches.
They can't do
I'll
him and
probably add in
Ziggler
one
for the
second.
100th time already.
Who? Oh, Barrett and Ziggler?
No, Bray Wyatt. They're already
Ziggler.
killing that feud.
Yeah. I thought Ziggler would win yesterday, then you do a rubber match at the pay-per-view. Not going to happen at this point because he already killed Dolph Ziggler. So that being said, though, Fastlane coming up, and the spelling of the pay-per-view is weird. It's like one word for some reason. It's so stupid. That said, though, one of the talking points coming out of Raw, aside from the whole Seth Rollins controversy, was the stuff with Sting and Triple H, that whole segment where Sting accepted the challenge of Triple H to appear at Fastlane in a couple weeks. So, Arden, getting back to you, I want to get your thoughts on the segment itself. Do you think it was well done with the whole the double agent with that RJ thinks that was Seth Rollins? I mean, has yet to be confirmed. But what were your thoughts on the Seth Rollins or on the Triple H Sting segment from last night on Raw?
Before I answer, man, it feels good to be back in the conversation. I just got the hashtag. I'm good to go. Time to clean some house. Got the hashtag ready to go.
Sounds
good. Yeah, man. In terms of that segment, I enjoyed the segment. It was a pretty cool segment. You know, it's a way of once again of utilizing Sting, even though it wasn't Sting. And it's like, you guys were talking about it earlier. I think, was it you, RJ, who said you thought that Seth Rollins, that thing?
Yeah,
some people were saying,
yeah.
Some people on Twitter were saying that was Danny and Mizdow.
No, yeah, I was joking about that. I made a joke about that.
Yeah. It wasn't only you. It was like other people that were saying it too. And I actually believe it. I'm like, that's probably Mizdow. But I thought it was a pretty good job. You know, it's Triple H cutting his usual promo, and I think that in terms of Sting's acceptance, that was the best way of utilizing Sting and showing what Sting's about. The WWE could have easily messed it up by having Sting come out there and engage in a conversation with Triple H. But why do that? Just have him play mind games, do the whole thing with the lights and the video and the fake Sting, which I think is actually taken from the WCW days where he used to do that. So I thought it was a pretty good job, man. It's definitely something where, you know, maybe it doesn't not only does it excite people who's already excited about the Triple H Sting match that's just going to happen, but also others who weren't excited about it. Maybe this, you know, gets them to maybe look at it more and go, hey, you know, maybe this is a good match after all. Maybe it could be something.
Exactly. I thought the segment itself was well done in that Sting, like Lesnar, is very limited in terms of dates, like how far, how often they can bring him in and stuff like that. So I was very happy they didn't bring him in for a worthless appearance last night on Raw. I understand, like, for the fans in the arena that were probably disappointed that they were expecting Sting, and maybe they thought that was Sting for all we know. I have no idea. I don't know who in their right mind would think that was Sting. It looked nothing like him. That was very obvious on TV for anyone that thought that. That said, though, like you said, I think the best part about this that I'm most excited about personally is the production team and the fun that they can have with Sting and WWE. Like all the mind tricks that we see with Undertaker and the body doubles and the stuff on the Titantron. I thought that was awesome. Like, the Triple H promo was what it was. Like, we basically knew what was going to happen. But I didn't think it was too campy either. I just thought the way that it was done and the stuff with the production I thought was great. And I think they can have more fun with it as the feud progresses going forward. So, RJ, your thoughts on the segment itself?
I thought it was good besides the crappy double. I thought the double just like... I was like, that is not Sting.
Yeah.
But I think they could have still used a fake double but done something that, like... It wasn't so on him that people were like, whoa, that's not even him. Like, I think they could have easily, like, hit the light and then, like, had him, like, go up into the rafters.
Yeah.
And then you would be like, oh, that's Sting. But, like, obviously, and then Triple H could have the same reaction. But then, like, you obviously didn't, like, you wouldn't, like, process that it wasn't Sting. Like, I saw that. I'm like, that is not Sting.
Yeah, get the back of somebody or
like
something.
Like I said, like, I know, like, they only have limited appearances. But, or they could have done, like, looked like he was up in the rafters and they could have done that instead. Besides that, I think it was a good segment. I like the promo, kind of like that they aired. Like, they showed like Triple H talking, kind of like the face paint.
That was cool.
That was pretty
cool.
sick.
That
the
was
production
really
team was good on that.
Yeah.
When they kind of like had him talking in the face paint over Triple H's face was pretty sweet. So I think it's shaping up to be a good feud. And what's it like a dressing? They're dressing each other Fastlane or something.
Yeah. The logic behind the promo last night was like, will you accept my challenge to appear at Fastlane to talk to me then? Like, that was just dumb to me.
Yeah.
It's not like they're wrestling at Fastlane, so the logic behind it made no sense. But the way that it was handled, I thought was
good.
nice.
Yes,
that was very well done. So that said, though, also stuff from last night, the big controversy as behind, aside from Seth Rollins, with Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan, and a lot of contradicting reports. Like, for me now, it's gotten to the point where it's just hilarious. Like, a week ago, like the week after the Rumble, they were saying it's Bryan and Sheamus at WrestleMania. Next week, it's Bryan and Ziggler at WrestleMania. Next week, Bryan and Lesnar at WrestleMania. Like, I don't know what to believe at this point in time, which is maybe a good thing, because it's completely unpredictable. I still think that Roman Reigns wins at Fastlane. We'll talk about that next week, but I still think he wins. Maybe after last night, we really have no idea, because last night, both guys were teasing tension, and it's not even that Roman Reigns did anything heelish. It was just more that the fans sided with Daniel Bryan, which shouldn't come as any surprise, because they've always been siding with Daniel Bryan. He's not getting 100% booze, Roman Reigns is, but they are siding. They are siding with Daniel Bryan, and I don't know where they're going with this, in that they had to expect that Roman Reigns was going to get booed in the face of Daniel Bryan if they were going to do this match at Fastlane, okay? So if they do this and then have Reigns win...
He's going to get booed even more.
Exactly. They're not going to get more... He's not going to get more fan support and working with a fan favorite. And even if Daniel Bryan did endorse Roman Reigns, like I've talked about before, I still don't think he'd be at the point of being over where he should be going into the main event of WrestleMania. So it's not the worst main event in the world, so I'll be fine with it if that's the case, if that's the direction. But right now, the whole road to WrestleMania is a complete
disaster.
It's a complete mess, exactly. So RJ, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on the whole the angle right now with Bryan Reigns. Where do you see it going?
I'm gonna start from the top. I don't hate Roman Reigns for winning the Royal Rumble. I feel like people are hating Roman Reigns for the wrong reasons. I think people are like, oh, I hate Roman Reigns to Royal Rumble. He got the opportunity, won it, but I think the whole booking of that whole was just the same stuff as last year. I don't get how they did not know this.
It's not Roman Reigns. It's
not
booking.
Roman Reigns. It's the booking.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't hate Roman Reigns. I just hate how they booked him to go on.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think he's there. Well, if we knew last night he's gonna go breed
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Right when I heard that, I erupted. I just don't think they were saying. I saw reports. They said that people are fearing that at WrestleMania the Lesnar and Reigns match could be as bad as the Lesnar and Goldberg match.
So I heard some comparisons to that. Yeah.
I think that I don't know. I just think that they should have easily gone with Bryan. I don't know what they were thinking. Wait till next year for Roman Reigns. I don't think he's ready yet. Or if, like you said, wait till SummerSlam. Something that he's not ready yet. I don't think he should beat Lesnar, but it is what it is. I think, like you said, if he goes over on Bryan, people want to hate him even more because Bryan's so over. Then why would you have him beat Bryan? But I don't know. I hope it's Bryan and Lesnar. But then what do you do with Roman Reigns if he doesn't go on to WrestleMania?
Exactly. Why would you have Bryan win the lose the Rumble?
I think it'd be more things for him. It's if he goes on and wins, then he goes to Lesnar, and then Bryan can face Ziggler or Sheamus. Like, there's plenty of guys for him to wrestle. If Reigns loses, then it's like, who's he going to wrestle? Because they're probably going to do Orton and Rollins, Ambrose, and whoever. Like, I feel like he's out of place if they don't have him win. I hope he doesn't win, but he probably will.
He probably will. So I won't be disappointed or shocked. I mean, I kind of see it coming. I think we all do at this point, so I'm not going to be completely pissed off about it. But I mentioned to John yesterday via text in a direction, and this is not my idea. I heard someone else say this. And that I think it would feel Russ, as John would say when I was talking to him, in that you have Reigns lose at Fastlane, and then you have him go heel on the road to WrestleMania, and because we need heels right now, and then you have him face Rock at WrestleMania, having him blame The Rock for what happened in the Rumble, saying you cost me my win or whatever else. Because remember, the Authority was saying the whole reason why we're here right now is because of The Rock and what his interference at the Rumble. So he blames The Rock, and we get into that match. But I feel like you need more build behind that. And this year, there's only 5 weeks to build a Mania, because we have Fastlane, and WrestleMania this year is 1 week earlier. So it's not 6, it's 5 weeks. Doesn't make a big difference, but still, I feel like that'd be rushed. But that's something that you could do with the guy. That's a backup plan.
Now that you said that, it actually sounds good, because people are like, we'll wait for Reigns and Rock to do another year. Like, you need to get Rock. Rock's time's limited.
It's very limited.
And if you're going to do the Shield at next year's WrestleMania, then it's another year for The Rock to... I think that's actually a good idea. That, like I said, that could be their whole thing. He loses to Daniel Bryan, comes on the next night on Raw. I should go to WrestleMania. Rock, get out here. I'm going to kick your ass. Like, you ruined my... And then they have Rock put over Reigns at WrestleMania.
Exactly. Because we were talking about with John yesterday, you need top heels. And that, okay, you can get Roman Reigns as a heel, but you cannot turn Seth Rollins right now.
No, you cannot turn Seth Rollins babyface right now.
He will be a babyface at some point. The guy is a
He'll become babyface just over the work he has done.
Exactly.
Like, people were cheering him after Royal Rumble, just because how good of a match he had.
Exactly. And more so they were cheering Brock Lesnar in that matchup, I think, more than Seth Rollins.
I need to watch that match. I watched it again on Raw, and I have to watch it again. I was so shocked. I thought he had it.
Phenomenal match.
I thought he was going to hit him with the curb stomp.
Oh, that ending, though. I watched it back, and I was marking out. It was so awesome. The 2 briefcase, the curb stomp, and then an F5. Out of nowhere. The camera work there was top tier. I love how
Rollins brings up he broke Lesnar's ribs. I don't know if that's true, but he always says it.
Yeah, that was funny. But, there's so many directions they could take with this whole angle. I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out. So, Arden, my question to you, what are your thoughts on this whole Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan debacle right now, or debacle? What are your thoughts in this going on right now with Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan going into Fastlane? Who do you see going over?
To be honest with you, when I was watching Reigns last night, and I really got to thinking, and to be completely honest, I feel like if you really want to save Roman Reigns, if you really want to save his potential, you have to cut out the clean babyface stuff. It's over. Like, he's not going to get over. And 2, if you're somebody who feels, well, maybe you could go over, then ask yourself this. How can he go over when, for one, he's now going to be in a must-go program with the biggest face in the WWE, Daniel Bryan? And 2, here was something, there's actually a guy, it's funny, it's a favorite restaurant I go to where I live in my place called Chicago Unos, right? Mm-hmm. And there's this waiter there. His name is Dwayne. Shout out to him. And he's a huge wrestling fan. And every time I go, we get into these long conversations. And he talked about Brock, and he was like, here's the deal. He's like, with them doing what they did with Brock in terms of, like, remember before the Royal Rumble, him calling out Seth Rollins, and he looked like a fighting champion? He was like, even though it was awesome in the moment, he was like, down the line, that could actually be bad for Reigns because people didn't like Lesnar. Because it's like, oh, you didn't defend the belt. You know, of course, you're this quote-unquote heel. But then when you have Lesnar come back and he's like this badass champion, and then you combine it with the fact that he had a great match, people are going to get behind Lesnar now. Especially when you think about it, okay, especially if it's against Reigns, because people half and half, whatever percentage, they don't really support Reigns like that. So for me, I would have Reigns either go full out heel or be a 50-50. And there was actually a report that I read last night by, I think, the Wrestling News Observer, or David Meltzer, if you ever heard of him. He's like the top insider.
Yeah.
They said Vince McMahon changed his mind about the main event.
Yeah.
It seems as if Daniel Bryan won't be in the main event. And I think if that's the case, then I think you have to do it, you know? Mm-hmm. Because I feel like the only way you can do Reigns-Lesnar, it can't be with Reigns as the face. I think what I would do is I would have Lesnar kind of be a face somewhat and have Reigns go on and be the heel, because you could do something where Reigns is trying to go over, get respect, you could try to earn it, and maybe you could make Reigns look like Lesnar back in 2002, while Lesnar is the fighting champion, somebody who's trying to command that respect. But that's just how I feel about it.
No, I definitely see where you're coming from in that with Roman Reigns, especially after Fastlane, you cannot continue on the path of a babyface at this point. Like, maybe you could have done that last week, because the reaction that he got last week was not half bad, but now these kind of pushing around Daniel Bryan, even though he's not being overtly heel, people just want to side with Daniel Bryan. They're not getting the 50-50 that they're going for. Daniel Bryan, it's like 80-20. Yeah. So that said, they either have to do full-on turn here with Roman Reigns going heel, Brock Lesnar going babyface.
I don't see Lesnar going babyface is the thing.
And they can have him go baby. Like, it's easy, because like I said before, they were having him cheer to the Royal Rumble or something like that. And here's the thing, though, because at WrestleMania, and I know on the road to WrestleMania, you'll get these casual crowds, some hardcore crowds. I know they're going to be in Brooklyn at some point. But that said, though, at WrestleMania, Roman Reigns will be the definite heel, and Brock Lesnar will be the definite face. Because at WrestleMania, you've been there. It's all hardcore fans.
All hardcore fans there.
Like, people that are so passionate about the product, they are going to cheer Brock Lesnar and boo Roman Reigns. So that said, do you think
after last year they might not, though? Last year they were pissed at Lesnar. Obviously, it's over a year, but I don't know. I don't think I can see, like, Lesnar's going off as the big heel badass champ. I just don't know how you just all of a sudden turn a babyface now. Like, how could it? Obviously the fans would cheer him, but he's still like that anti-hero that people still hate him.
And he was the one who ended the streak.
That's what exactly. I'm saying. Yeah. And I think if Reigns gonna turn, they have to get rid of the whole believe that bullshit. I can't stand when he says that, like believe that.
He's got to get away from the Shield and establish his own
exactly.
identity.
He's still. I hate how he still uses the same like entrance and the same music as the Shield. He needs to get over that and get on his own. Obviously, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose got away from it, and they've done pretty well with themselves.
They've done better than Roman Reigns.
Obviously, Reigns just got a. Oh my god! I don't think he should be where he is right now, but.
It's not even like you said. It's not even that I don't like Roman
Reigns.
Reigns.
It's not like I don't like him. I just think he's booked
not ready,
improperly.
Exactly. Right now.
Because then they have him lose the Big Show, which
makes
no
sense.
Pinfall
loss ever, dude, and he
loses to the Big Show. It made no sense at all.
Big Show
I guess
twice on Raw yesterday.
Exactly. I guess it makes sense because they want him to maybe try to kill the super babyface run, but he was still getting put. Oh my god! Once he said Brock Lesnar, I just tweeted out he can't be.
We're done. We're done with this promo. Sorry.
It's even his in-ring stuff. It's just very sporadic. He just has the same moves. It's just
he's very limited.
Very limited in the ring. Like I said, and especially with Lesnar, who's also pretty limited in the ring.
It's gonna be a Goldberg Lesnar match at WrestleMania.
Like I said, everyone praised the Royal Rumble, but Lesnar really wasn't in the whole the best parts of the match, he was only in at the finish where he really wasn't doing much.
He thrives given his opponent.
Exactly. Cena and Rollins carried that match.
Rollins
carried the match. But at the end, obviously Lesnar had his moments, but the other two carried the match. Lesnar was just in it. I think Lesnar and Reigns kind of thrive off their opponent. That Undertaker-Lesnar match at Mania last year fucking sucked.
That was horrendous.
Pardon my French, but that match was terrible. Everyone at the Superdome knew that match was terrible.
Yep.
They were just so slow, just suplexes, bear hug. I'm like, oh my god, it's 1980s wrestling here that I can't stand.
Yep.
I just think, like you said, it's just gonna be it's just like Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. They're both not really in the ring. They have their moments, and I think Lesnar and Bryan would be a lot better. Is all I'm saying. Just I think a Rollins or Ambrose Lesnar would be a lot better because they can do different stuff like that. Just two big guys wrestling.
The big guy versus big guy dynamic rarely ever works.
And it sucks. Big Show. I remember
Big Show
and Mark Henry. Ryback and Mark Henry.
Exactly. That was terrible too. That was a terrible match a couple years ago. I liked the feud, but I thought that match was terrible.
Big guy versus big guy has never worked out.
Never.
I remember Batista versus Great Khali used to he used to puke in the bucket next to me. It was so bad.
Anything with Khali was terrible, but I definitely see where you're going. Khali versus Kane at WrestleMania, dude.
Khali versus Kane versus Big Daddy V versus
Jesus Mark Henry,
versus Mark Henry in a Monster Bash
Ball match. Yeah.
Monster Bash
Monster
match.
Yeah,
worst match of all time. Just two big guys just don't flow.
It's not going to work, especially in the main event. It's not like with Taker and Lesnar where it was the main event and you ended the show.
It would have been even worse.
It would have been way worse. Exactly. So you can't go off the show with that. So bottom line, even though it's a lose-lose, because with the story with Daniel Bryan, and they made it so convoluted where he has his rematch clause,
but he doesn't get to use it.
He doesn't get to use it, and he wastes it in the Royal Rumble. He enters the Rumble instead, doesn't use the title match.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. So the story with Lesnar and Bryan technically wouldn't be there. They already messed up the story, but the match is going to be better. Long term, it makes more sense for Daniel Bryan to win back the belt in the main event of WrestleMania. And I know some people are saying, we saw that last year and whatever else, but the story is different. It's not Bryan versus the Authority this year. It's Bryan versus Brock. It is David versus Goliath, and it's Bryan trying to win back that belt that he never lost.
Yeah, I think the story writes itself.
The story writes itself. This company makes it so convoluted.
Because I feel like if Reigns wins it, then where does he go from there?
Reigns?
If Reigns wins the title at WrestleMania, why would he wrestle Bryan again? He just beat Bryan at Fastlane.
Exactly.
So when it makes sense, who's going to fight? Cena? No.
Yeah. That's exactly
There has no one. If Bryan wins, he can go against Seth Rollins, Randy Orton. Well,
that's it, Seth Rollins. Well, that's exactly it.
Then Seth Rollins can cash it in.
Yes.
And then they can have Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan.
You think it's going to happen at WrestleMania?
I hope so.
I still don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be amazing.
I don't care if Reigns won and they just had Lesnar shake his hand, F5 him, Rollins booking ass up there and dropping the curb stomp. I would go nuts. I think the crowd would love it because they hate Reigns.
Absolutely.
They hate Reigns so much. It would be like the happy ending because everyone hates Reigns.
Yep.
That would make so much sense. And then if he did cash it on Reigns, they can have him and Rollins go through the beginning of spring, and then they have Bryan and Rollins at SummerSlam.
Yep, I could see that. I can absolutely
or Ambrose,
see that.
something like that. God.
Because with Roman Reigns winning the belt, there is no way that he stays a face and wins the belt, because I don't know if we were talking about it in the Twitter conversation or I was telling John via text, but there's no candidates, there's no contenders to face Roman Reigns after WrestleMania. There's Rollins, Big Show, Kane, right? Like, that
if
makes
he's a
me
face,
puke.
if he's a face, that's who it's gonna come down to.
That's exactly it. So, and Rusev's not there yet. Bray Wyatt is not going to go for the title probably. So you need to turn him heel. And then as a heel, at least as a champion, you have Bryan, Ziggler, Ambrose, John Cena, all these other people. There's like endless possibilities.
Yeah, but if you had Bryan win too, you could have Bryan win, and then if Wyatt goes over on Undertaker, they could have a Bryan Wyatt feud.
And Bryan has never defeated Bray Wyatt.
Exactly.
That started right.
Hopefully, don't do a steel cage against Extreme Rules. I'm praying.
Oh no, that match is so bad.
And then, like I said, maybe if he beats Bray Wyatt, then maybe Rusev comes up after the whole United States. Hopefully he doesn't lose the title of Cena.
I don't know what they're doing with that. I think there is a part of me that has hope. There is a part of me that has hope that they're getting Cena. They're doing this filler feud with Cena right now. Because if they were going to do Rusev and Cena at WrestleMania, then why not at least blow off Ryback and Rusev at Fastlane? Blow that off at that pay-per-view, and then build the Cena and Rusev. So I have like this small shred of hope that they're doing Cena Rusev now, and they're going to do Ryback and Rusev at WrestleMania. But at this point, because then what do you do with John Cena? So,
he's the bigger draw.
Exactly. So it sucks that they're doing that, but it is what it is. But on that note, I do want to get Arden's thought on this. Arden, what are your thoughts right now on John Cena versus Rusev? Do you think this is a good feud? You and I were talking about this a couple days ago, so I'm going to get your thoughts on the air. What are your thoughts on the current feud over the United States Championship between Rusev and John Cena?
It's weird. That's really what it is. It's weird to see. Okay, you're gonna have John Cena, and regardless of how you feel about it, it's John Cena, and you're going to try to insinuate the fact that, oh, by the way, he's competing for the United States Championship, and there's a chance that he can win. To me, it's weird, especially, okay, if you have him lose at Fastlane, which he should, by the way. I mean, you should have him lose at Fastlane, but then how are you going to build it for WrestleMania if you wanted to extend it? So to me, this feud didn't make sense. And I don't mean to change the topic, but I was trying to get in a second point about the whole dynamic of Lesnar Reigns, which is RJ was talking about it, and I know I did mention Lesnar as a face, but by that I wasn't meaning, have him turn into a full babyface. What I was trying to reference is the fact that Lesnar's already going to be cheered by the crowd anyway because it's Roman Reigns. So what I was saying is, why not play off that fact and not necessarily turn him into a complete one, but just utilize it for the sake of Reigns being the heel? And why not do something where it could kind of be, especially when you read these reports, and Graham, you've read these reports, what are they calling this title match between Lesnar and Reigns? They're saying this is a passing of the torch, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're calling it a passing of the torch.
Yep.
So why can't we put in the element of respect when you have Reigns, who's feeling himself being this hot shot, who's had a great first 2 years in the league in the WWE, and why not try to play off that by having that as a heel? Well, he's trying to challenge the big dog in Lesnar, who could basically talk on the mic with Heyman and try to compare those accomplishments and try to use that to go into the match. That was like the last point I was trying to say. But back to Cena Rusev, I'm not excited about the matchup, and I think it's very weird. I think it's a waste of time, honestly.
I couldn't agree more on both points. With Brock Lesnar, you wouldn't have to turn him full-fledged babyface. You can kind of have an anti-hero kind of thing. Just go with the reactions.
Yeah.
If people are going to boo Roman Reigns,
they're going to boo Roman Reigns.
Just go with it, yeah. And then Brock Lesnar is going to be cheered regardless. It doesn't have to be kissing babies and hugging fat girls or anything like that. You know what I mean? That's not Brock Lesnar. So
I was going to say, on the Cena thing, would you rather have Cena win at Fastlane and Rusev win at Mania, or have Rusev win at Fastlane and Cena win at Mania?
The second option, if only because Rusev can't have his first loss at Fastlane, in my opinion. And then you can't, at that point, my interest is already, I have no interest in this feud, but my interest is even less so if they have Rusev, if they kill him off at Fastlane and then do a rematch at WrestleMania. Like, at that point, no one's going to care. Like, there's no point in the feud at that point because the streak is already over. He lost his title. You know what I mean?
I think they should have done Ryback and Rusev at Fastlane
and then do the
Cena.
match. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know what. Maybe they have like a grand plan. Highly doubt it. But
maybe they just have a crappy finish to Fastlane.
They probably will,
Like,
and then do a rematch.
yeah.
That's terrible booking. It's like such lazy booking. I don't know why you couldn't have done Cena versus. Not Cena Rollins again. You could have done someone like Cena versus a member of the Authority, because they already had that kind of dynamic where he brought back the jobs of Ziggler and Rowan and Ryback and do that thing, and then you blow off Ryback and Rusev at Fastlane to at least get that over with, because they built so much time around that feud, and they never blew it up. Like, that makes no sense to me. But it's a nice rub for Rusev, but in the end, he's going to lose to John Cena.
It's just too long. Like, it's been going on for a couple of weeks as it is. Then we're going to have another 5 weeks to WrestleMania. It's going to be like an 8-week thing.
The story doesn't even make any
sense. It's Cena. I don't even know why he's fighting Cena. He got in his face after the Royal Rumble.
in
the post show of Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And it started a feud between him and Rusev.
He's like, oh, you're old, and he's only 37 years old. Well, Big Show's fucking 45 years old, and he's
Kane's
wrestling
like 50.
He's like 50 years old, and he's wrestling 2 matches a night, and you're calling John Cena old. Like, the context behind this feud makes no sense. So that's why I'm not a fan of it. The match itself.
At least they didn't go with the whole United States, like, Russia gimmick crap.
Yeah, like that again. That would have been terrible.
Beat that thing to death.
Exactly. But, I don't know. I said this in the video yesterday, in that it's the same story we saw last year with Wyatt and Cena. We saw the same exact thing. Wyatt had his first loss at the hands of John Cena. And we said it right here on this very show that if he suffers his first loss to the face of the company at their biggest show of the year, it's okay. Because if they have the aftermath, it's fine. But the aftermath was terrible. Like you mentioned before, the steel cage match was deplorable. Like, that was so bad.
That might have been one of the worst matches last year, hands down.
Absolutely, absolutely.
No, I was just saying, I think that they had a nominee for Match of the Year, but that was the Payback one.
The Payback, that was okay. Like, that wasn't a terrible match.
But the steel cage, I am like having nightmares as a little kid.
That was terrible.
That was so bad. Like, I would have just rather had Wyatt go over at WrestleMania than have him lose at Extreme Rules and Payback. Because no one cares about losing at those pay-per-views. Like, big stuff means stuff.
It does. It does. Absolutely. So I feel like they should have just had him win, and now Rusev's going to suffer a similar fate. But you mentioned Bray Wyatt. It looks like his match for WrestleMania is essentially set in stone. And even after that, despite all the wins that he's gotten right now, I like where he's going, but I feel like he is not the same as where he was a year ago. Like, he doesn't have that same momentum. I know he beat Bryan clean a couple weeks ago. He beat Ambrose. He beat Ziggler. But to me, he just doesn't feel like he has that same aura about him like he did going into that WrestleMania match with John Cena. We'll have
Damaged goods.
Damaged goods, exactly. I mean,
After
there's still
the whole,
something there.
like, John Cena burial.
Yeah, that.
And then off TV for a month, and he came back.
Without the Wyatt family.
Then without the Wyatt family, comes back against
Dean
Ambrose a few times. Lost.
Won every match.
No, he lost on Tribute to the Troops. He lost.
Yeah.
Obviously, not everyone saw that, so that didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Had a good show in Royal Rumble. Good last couple weeks on Raw. Like to see what they do with him at Fastlane. I think he has to get over on Undertaker. I think it would be so dumb him to lose again at WrestleMania to a guy he should have won last year. I was so
yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't know how they'll book Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt, to be honest with you, because Undertaker goes 21-0 at WrestleMania and then he loses 2 years in a row. Like, I don't know how that makes sense, and then you can have Wyatt lose twice. It's like a very weird situation.
Like I said, like, either way, it's a lose-lose.
It's a lose-lose. The feud could be good.
Exactly, the feud could be good, because if Wyatt wins, then, like, Undertaker loses 2 in a row. That makes no sense. And then if Undertaker wins, it's like, why the hell did you just have Bray Wyatt have, like...
And where does it go from there?
Exactly. Then he loses again. And it's not like he could freaking wrestle Undertaker again because he dies at the WrestleMania.
Exactly. And he'll probably be done anyway. So,
no, he'll wrestle staying at 32.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Then have one more match at WrestleMania 32. But that said, though, in the final few minutes that we have left, one question for you. Last night, Bray Wyatt beat Dolph Ziggler clean again. My big question right now is, where do you feel Dolph Ziggler goes on the road to WrestleMania? Do you feel like they have a direction for him right now?
I think when I was booking my predictions for WrestleMania, honestly, if I didn't have Rusev, I had Rusev and Ryback, and I feel like Dolph Ziggler, Cena, Ambrose, and there's someone else. It was another face. I was like, what are they going to do with these guys?
Yeah.
Then they're like Bryan and Ziggler. I'm like, all right, that makes sense. But then they're like, that's not going to happen anymore. Maybe Sheamus Ziggler, but is that really a big appeal?
I don't know how they're going to organically...
Not even, like, it's not one of those matches like, okay, it's not over a title. I mean, like, it's still a good match. Like, that needs something. I don't see
know how
much
they
of
would even
Sheamus
start
that much
that,
at all
yeah.
as it is. Maybe he's in like another Royal, like a giant memorial again if they do that.
But they would have to have him win. I feel like he can't lose. After the showing that he had at Survivor Series, they need to do
The guy
something with him.
got boned. He literally had the greatest thing, and then he got... Don't even get me started
After he
with the
got
Royal Rumble.
fired, yeah.
After Big Show threw him over like a piece of bread at Royal Rumble, I'm like, this guy's damaged goods. I just think the whole Royal Rumble kind of screwed a lot of the faces over.
It did. Ambrose,
Bray Wyatt
Ziggler,
looked weak.
Wyatt, yep.
Ziggler looked weak. Ryback looked weak.
Ambrose.
All those guys looked weak, and I'm just like, the only one that really came out of that show strong was Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins.
Yeah, and The Rock.
It
was not even an active member of the roster. So, and Big Show and Kane.
Back to The Rock. Why didn't Rusev get a chance to go for the title? He was the last one in.
That's exactly. And like I mentioned you on text, what about John Cena? He was not pinned in that title match, and that was his title match to begin with. Seth Rollins was at it at the last minute. That was his title match. It wasn't getting pinned. You would think from a
They were
storyline
both mad.
standpoint.
Him and Rusev were both mad, so they just butted heads and now they're wrestling.
Yeah, it's so stupid. This company. But before we go forward, though, Arden, I do want to get your thoughts on this. Do you feel like WWE has a direction for Dolph Ziggler going into WrestleMania after all the current losses that he's had to Bray Wyatt and Bad News Barrett?
No, they don't. They have no idea what they're doing with them. Not at all. If there is a direction, it seems as if they're gonna. To be honest with you, don't be surprised if at WrestleMania you see Ziggler and Ryback together in a tag team, because that's what it seems as if right now.
Yeah.
You know, I know there wasn't a tag team this Monday, but last week they were
on SmackDown.
And then they did and then they did like a SmackDown Fallout, and they looked pretty good together as a tag team. And it's a shame that they don't have anything for Ziggler. It really is, because again, this guy is over. You know, he's putting on really good matches. He has the look, but WrestleMania, he's probably either going to be in a tag team match with Ryback, or they're going to put him in the Battle Royal. There's going to be nothing special for him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because you look down, you rank down the matches on the card. You've got Sting, Triple H, Reigns, Lesnar, Bryan Lesnar, whatever. Orton, Rollins, like you mentioned before, Cena, Rusev. That's 4 matches right there. And I'm sure there's going to be other top matches they're going to do too. Maybe Stardust and Goldust. That's not a top match, but you know what I mean.
That's money right there.
That's money.
That's what the hardcore fans have been looking for years.
For years now. I've been waiting for this since like 28, like 3 years ago. So I'm so happy we're finally getting it. That said, though, yeah, I feel like they don't have any direction for him. Ambrose, they're just throwing
I think he's been shuffled down a lot, too.
Ambrose was in the main event of Raw a couple months ago, and they've been, just not doing him any justice.
Wrestles Curtis Axel every week.
Yeah, exactly. That was a joke. But
I'm almost done. I'm actually
still, that being said,
right
though,
now,
I mean, we just did something. Ambrose last night was, calling out Bad News Barrett, and they'll do that match at Fastlane. Like, I don't care about the IC title, so why should I care about that match? It should be good.
You shouldn't care about the IC title because you never see Bad News on TV, and when he is, he loses.
Loses to Sin Cara, loses to R-Truth and Dark matches. Like, are you joking? Like, that's not how you book a champion. I don't get it. This is WWE side.
I just think it's like Ambrose is higher than the IC title, but he's in the race because there's nothing else for him to do. And then
I hear you.
Yeah, so I think like he's higher than that, but they have nothing to do with him. And then they have other guys like I think like a Sami Zayn or like one of those guys would be perfect for the IC title. Like the drop off from top tier guys to like low tier is so high.
Yeah.
You have Ambrose and you have like Curtis Axel.
It's like the richest of the rich
and then the poorest of the poor, and then like there's no one in the middle really.
No mid card.
There's no mid card at all. There's like
not at all.
Like I said, a guy like Ambrose who could be in the main event, like we said, main event pay per views like 3 months ago.
TLC, Hell in a
Cell was main event pay per views. Now he's freaking on BNZ and freaking Curtis Axel and wrestling probably the Fastlane pre-show for the IC title.
Probably. Would not doubt that now that you mention it. It's
literally it's gone like WWE title, then like tag team. No, I say US title.
Yeah,
tag
US
team.
Okay.
Divas, then I think IC's the lowest.
IC has been the worst book title.
It's just so badly put. They just keep changing the champion.
It's
just because
been
you
like
change the champion
times,
doesn't mean it makes more. It doesn't mean more.
That's my 2 cents on it. Some people have differing thoughts. I mean, everyone has their opinion on it.
But if you change it every month, it means nothing.
It means absolutely nothing.
It means the champion it doesn't make him valuable
exactly.
at all.
When Barrett won the championship, I just yawned, and this is coming from a guy that likes Bad News Barrett, but there's no story there. None of the people I talked about this in the video, but you see the same people with the belt every single time. Kingston, Barrett, Ziggler,
it was
Miz.
the exact same with the United States title.
Exactly.
When Ambrose had, then he lost to someone.
Sheamus.
Then finally, Sheamus and Ziggler. So whoever had it.
Yeah,
There's plenty of people that had it.
Yeah.
And then finally Rusev got it. And he kind of made it prestigious. He's hold it. He's beaten people. Hasn't lost. Like, it makes it mean something.
Yeah.
But when you have the freaking worst of the worst keep winning the title, it doesn't mean anything. Like, Kofi Kingston's like a 7-time IC champion. Who gives a shit now?
Exactly.
It's to the point that it's beaten dead that no one cares.
Like back in the 80s, tradition, not even in the 80s, like the 90s, even early 2000s, that title was a stepping stone to the World Championship. Now it's just for the mid-carders. Like, now it's an essential joke. Like, no one cares about it. Like you said, when that title changes hands, I mean, like, the title wins themselves. Like, when that TLC match between Harper and Ziggler, that kicked all kinds of ass. Like, that was amazing. The matches between Ziggler and Miz I really enjoyed, but you keep on switching it, no one's going to care. Like, it doesn't mean anything, like you said. So we'll have to wait and see about that matchup. Should be a good matchup. Don't even care about it being over the IC Championship, though. But quick thoughts here. Arden, I want to get your quick thoughts on Rikishi going to the WWE Hall of Fame as of last night. So what were your thoughts on the newest inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame?
Oh, that was really great to see, man. Seeing Rikishi get inducted into the Hall of Fame. He was a big part of my childhood growing up watching the WWE, man. And he was one of those guys that during that time, he was really a big-time player. You know, he was somebody who was on the main event scene, you know, as in, like, just look at late 2000. He was in a rivalry with The Rock, and then he was in the 6-man Hell in a Cell match. And he was also somebody who was able to hold his own and really elevate programs at the mid-level. So to see him during his career, during his peak, and then not to mention he helped raise 2 sons who's helping out the WWE tremendously in the Usos, he's definitely worthy of a Hall of Fame spot. Not to mention he comes from that, you know, historical family, man, that Samoan family that produced The Rock and himself and the Usos and other great Samoan wrestling legends. So congratulations to him, because he's definitely deserving of that spot.
No, I totally agree. I think Rikishi, after the run that he had in WWE, not even as Rikishi, but going back to his time as a part of the Head Shrinkers and everything else that he did over the course of his WWF, WWE career, I think is deserving of a WWE Hall of Fame induction, so congrats to him. And the timing couldn't have been better either, especially given how hot the Usos currently are. They're the tag team champions, so there's no better time to induct him if they're going to induct him at all. But RJ, doesn't look like you're too happy about this. I want to get your thoughts on Rikishi going to the WWE Hall of Fame.
I think it's way too early for Rikishi to get in the Hall of Fame. I think there's plenty of other people well more deserving than he was. I honestly don't see him. I started watching in 2002. Obviously, his 2000 stuff was more of his main event scene stuff. But I think like that Hell in a Cell match, he was so out of place. He should. If you look at it, you could name 3 or 4 other guys that should have been in that match. Like a Jericho, HBK. There's plenty of other guys they could have put in there. Even Kane would have been better. Obviously, Jericho wasn't there yet. HBK was hurt. I don't know what the hell Kane was doing.
No, I think Jericho was there.
It
was 2000.
I don't know I don't know exactly when he got there.
99. Yeah, the Y2K stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know where Jericho was, but Jericho would have been better in
Are you talking about the match?
Yes.
I think the match was,
I know.
The original match, I think, was Rock, Austin, Triple H, Kurt Angle, Undertaker, and Rikishi.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think, like, obviously he had his run with, like, Stone Cold and stuff, but I think that's like saying, like, R-Truth. R-Truth was in the main event scene when it didn't really matter, but, like, I don't know. I just always saw Rikishi as just a mid-card guy. Like, he won, like, tag team championship with Sky Too Hotty a few times. Just nothing like that. I think the Hall of Fame is a joke as it is. There's plenty of guys.
It's all subjective.
It's exactly. I think that one of the reasons he's in it because of the family comes from. Obviously, I think if he was like freaking another guy, I don't think he would have been as like. That's like saying he won, so like why isn't Shelton Benjamin in the Hall of Fame? Like I think the criteria they need to have like a legit criteria to get in.
They do.
They
will never.
They'll never have it because there's so many people that are in it that don't belong in it.
Exactly. So I think
that it's just ridiculous. I think it's too early. I think people were pissed when Booker T got in, who has better credentials than Rikishi does. People were like, "Oh, why isn't so and so in?" Obviously, people like Eddie Guerrero got in because he died, and that's all. He got in the same year that he died.
Yeah.
That's something he obviously deserved to get in.
Eventually,
Eventually, I think that he would have got in anyway. So, but like, The Rock's still not in. Batista's not in. I think Batista should have gotten Rikishi before Rikishi did.
I think with Rock and Batista, more so Batista, but I think their runs aren't done yet.
Their runs aren't done yet, but still, I just think like they should have still waited. I think they're just getting desperate with people and Rikishi throw in.
I felt that same way as well.
Like, are they going to throw freaking DDP should be like
DDP's going to go in absolutely.
Do you think he should be in the Hall of Fame? Honestly, do you think he should be?
I think he's Hall of Fame worthy, but right now I think
I don't think he's right now Hall of Fame.
I think what you're saying though, I do agree. Like right now, I don't want to say they're getting to the bottom of the barrel. They're not getting to like the Scotty 2 Hotties.
No,
but they're getting like the Attitude Era mid-carders.
Exactly.
This is 10 years ago.
But I think like it's kind of like a blow to the like older guys. Cause like 2004, I remember it was like Greg Valentine, Harley Race, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Like these guys are way like they were better in like the 80s, and they then they get put in.
Yeah.
But then like these guys that haven't been that productive of the career, they get started thrown in. Then like the celebrities get like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like
that was random.
That was so random. There was plenty of other people that could have put in over him. Like
I know why they did it, but yeah.
Yeah. It's just politics. It's ridiculous. It's such a fraud Hall of Fame. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, where's Rick Rude? Like,
that's
Rick
what I was
Rude
thinking.
should have been put in.
It's not like he's probably not going to go in this year or Owen Hart either, because the reason being that I think Lanny Poffo, he did an interview on Jericho's podcast just recently, and they approached him about putting Macho Man in the Hall of Fame last year, and they didn't want to put him in the same class as Paul Bearer because they were both posthumously inducted. Yeah. So I guess they don't want to do two posthumously inducted people in the same class. Savage is already going.
Oh, they've done that before.
2 people?
Yeah.
Really?
I think Junkyard Dog, it was 2004, and so was someone else.
Really? No 4?
I think so. I swear to God there was 2 people. Because I remember his daughter inducted him, and there's someone else. I'm trying to think.
Savage is the big name, so that was an exception. But Rick Rude isn't going to headline, but I could see him going in. He has to go in at some point.
Ridiculous.
Him and, all the British Bulldog, I think, should go in as well.
Yeah, he'll go in eventually,
yeah,
hopefully.
I don't know why he's not already in.
Because it's politics.
It's all politics,
because he's related to the Hearts and
all that crap.
It's just
Owen Hart and everything else.
Just
he
like,
should have been in.
Just like what I'm getting is like they like once they bonded up the war, they kind of like got rid of like that DVD of bashing him the whole time.
They did, yeah.
I saw that.
It's
like,
hypocrisy.
They bashed
him.
Triple H shit all over the Ultimate War, and then like all of a sudden they're good now, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's the time, and like they shit on Bret Hart for a while, and now they love Bret Hart again.
Yeah, exactly.
They like didn't like how he like left the company. I think the Montreal Screwjob is what it is, I guess, but. I think going back, like, that's so
That's why I think it's wise that they're not burying CM Punk, because he's going to come back at some point.
Yeah,
I still feel like he's going to come back at some point.
I think Bret Hart was a true to his word guy that they could have just let him win that match. Then I think he honestly would have given the title back. I think he was genuine enough that he, like, respected Vince McMahon enough that he would have given the title back. I think him screwing over Bret kind of, like, tarnishes his career because people think of that's what you think of when you think of Bret Hart.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know, I just wish I was a fan back then. I think I would have been a huge Bret Hart fan if I was watching him. Like, Ultimate Warrior for you.
Exactly.
I think I'd been more of a Bret Hart fan. I think like a good technical wrestler,
yeah.
I love Bret Hart. But,
the '90s were all HBK and Hart. Absolutely, that was their decade. But
like I said, it's all politics. And politics. Like I said, he's from the Noy family. Like. Freaking Rosie will begin in the next year, and Umaga will begin putting in the year after.
You know what I was thinking?
Come on,
blinking, you missed them. I don't know if you remember him or not. Manu, do you remember Manu?
Yeah, he was in Legacy.
Yeah, he's probably gonna go in.
Sim Snuka will be in there eventually. Tamina, like the whole crew will be in there soon. Roman Reigns.
Next year.
No. So I swear to God, JBL was like, future Hall of Famer Roman Reigns, something like that.
Did he really say that? I know he always says that for Randy Orton, sports entertainer built from the ground up.
Well, Randy Orton should be in Hall of Fame.
No, right? I know, but you know what I mean, though. But yeah, Roman Reigns.
Literally, all you need is an IC title run, and you are qualified to be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Well, not if you're Coco Beware, but that's another story for another day.
I don't think he's ever won a title.
He never won a championship. But Jake the Snake, it's all.
But Jake the Snake,
he's
Jake
a legend.
The Snake. Exactly.
I know, it's all about the legacy you left behind.
Why isn't Kevin Nash not in yet? Right?
He will be. I think this might be the year. We'll have to wait and see because he has no more issues with his the legal stuff anymore. Yeah, he appeared on Raw, so yeah.
Think X-Pac will get in?
SDX, I think. I think on his own, maybe not. But if they're inducting Rikishi, then they're going to induct X-Pac.
Like I said, if they're inducting Rikishi.
I think he's worthy, but I think if you're going to induct Rikishi, you got to induct maybe Ken Shamrock at some point. Like
Scotty 2 Hotty.
There's no difference there. Yeah, Scotty 2 Hotty. Oh, maybe not Scotty 2 Hotty. Those guys are like tagged. If Rikishi was at least on the card a little bit, like all over the card.
Thing is, like I think like you think of it like, so like Rikishi gets in. Like, one of these, do you think Billy Kidman would get in?
It's not like he revolutionized cruiserweight wrestling.
But what did Rikishi revolutionize?
He didn't really revolutionize.
Exactly! See, you
stop it!
See, that's like saying, like, hey,
he left an impact.
Chavo Guerrero better get in there then. If you look at the cruiserweight, it should be Billy Kidman, Chavo Guerrero, Jamie Noble.
Jamie
Noble.
Okay.
Jamie Noble. I'm going to go stretch because if Rikishi's getting in, Jamie Noble better get in.
Okay.
Jamie Noble better be there. Dean Malenko should have been there a while ago.
I think he's next.
He should be in there. Rey Mysterio will get in there.
Oh, yeah.
That's hands down.
Yeah.
So that's five guys who I think were better careers than Rikishi did. Even Jamie Noble, that isn't a stretch on Jamie Noble, but I still think he's more deserving than
Dean
Rikishi.
Malenko, I think, if you put Rikishi in, will go in. Dean
Dean Malenko was the man. He should have been in a while ago.
Be, yeah.
The man with 1,000 holds. It's ridiculous. Like I said, it's so subjective. Like Christian's, he's bound to get in.
He'll be in at
like
some
the
point.
Dudley boys will get in.
Yeah.
Hardys.
It's whoever you're on good terms with.
Exactly. Well, Jeff Hardy, I don't know what them.
Honky Tonk Man, I'm surprised he's not in already. He's one of the
sucked,
greatest
though.
Intercontinental Champions of all time.
He was as good as they book you. He was good.
I know, but he was on Countdown as number 2 greatest IC champion of all time. Countdown on this week, greatest odd jobs of all time.
Was Santino on there?
Yeah.
If Rikishi's in the Hall of Fame,
Let's put Santino in the Hall of Fame.
Santino better be in the Hall of Fame.
I can see that at some point, but we're going way off topic here. WWE Hall of Fame.
On the phone?
Yeah, he's still on the phone. Arden, you still here with us?
Yeah, man, I'm still here.
Sounds good, brother. Sorry we're going off on a tangent here on the WWE Hall of Fame. We can go on for hours about the Hall of Fame and who's worthy, who's not worthy.
Tori Wilson,
Chavo Guerrero, Yoshitatsu next year.
No,
a whole bunch of people.
Yoshitatsu does not belong.
No, I'm just kidding. Maybe Zack Ryder next year. Curtis Axel, Axelmania, hashtag it next year for the WWE Hall of Fame. With that being said, Arden, thanks so much for joining us, brother. We appreciate it. But before we let you go, want to let you plug your stuff, your own show, your Twitter, and everything else.
Oh, yeah, man. Thanks for having me on the show. You know, it's always fun talking to you about the WWE and other parts of the company. But, yeah, man, if you want to follow me and listen to AST Radio and follow other people that my work, just follow me on Twitter at Arden Sports Talk, ARDEN Sports Then Talk. And then from there, you get all my information and all my other pieces of work. Thank you once again, man.
No problem, man. You guys heard him at Arden Sports Talk on Twitter. Make sure to follow him. Thanks again for coming on the show. We appreciate it, brother, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, talk to you soon, man. Later.
See you, man. And on that note, RJ for the first time in 2015, live here on EC Radio. Time for the shout-outs.
Cam and Molly, that's it. And
that's
Shannon.
it?
And then Shannon, that's it. And
wow.
Gets one. It's
first shout-out.
First shout-out, you get 3 people, that's it.
It's a brief one for
it's
the
brief,
first
and Graham.
one.
Graham will get one, too.
Well, of course. But
and
I mean, like,
and at John Knapp, 17. I think that's right.
John Knapp, 17. You got it.
Besides that, no one else is worthy right now.
Next week, next Tuesday, February 17th, right here, live365.com/stations/ECTV73, NXT TakeOver Rival Review, as well as Fastlane predictions. We're being joined by Jacob Bloom. It was that one guest. I don't know if you recall him or not. The second or third show that you were not here for that I talked to. Do you remember that or no? That I did the. What?
Is that Albert?
No. Or you know, if you listen to the show, you know who it was.
Bro, you said Bloom. Is that Albert?
No. Yeah, we're getting tense. We're getting fucking tense on the show.
I was like, is that Albert?
That'd be awesome. Yeah. No, but you'll know it.
Now.
Yeah, you'll see next week. But do confirm though, 1 month from now, a little over 1 month, Michael Yoder's coming back for the WrestleMania 31 predictions.
Thank God.
2 years in a row. And next year as well, WrestleMania 32. We can book it a year in advance.
Hashtag book it.
Hashtag book it. You said it yourself. So
then
you
we
want
just
to
need to get John Knapp on the phone. We need to get everyone on there. We need a 4-way.
We need the whole round table
exactly.
for WrestleMania predictions. It's going to be huge. But your Twitter, did you already plug it?
Yeah, WrestleRant.
That's your Twitter?
Yep, at WrestleRant.
At WrestleRant? Okay, well, my Twitter as well is at WrestleRant. I don't know if he's hacking my Twitter like Seth Rollins'
Exactly.
Twitter
Watch
was
out.
hacked
Might be
too.
photos of Graham.
Watch out for the photos. I might lose my push here on the show. Watch out for that. But you heard it here on the show. Next week, live Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 Central Time
Unless
at
it snows.
WrestleRant. Unless it snows again. I think
it's supposed to snow Sunday, I think.
And Thursday, too. Did you hear that? There's a lot of snow up here in the Northeast. Yes. It is nuts. It cost me my chance to go to SmackDown a couple weeks ago, and the show was not going to be great anyway, but now we're still going to TLC, though, at the end of the year. That's going to be awesome.
Any word on SummerSlam yet? Or?
No, it's not official. Still going to that wherever it is. I don't care if I have to go fucking to California if I have to. Okay, maybe not to California, but maybe.
Hopefully it stays around here.
Hopefully it's still in New Jersey.
Bring it to the Dunkin' Donuts Center.
Yeah, in Rhode Island. At least it's closer.
It's such a good arena.
That's
even
a good
though
arena.
It's so small, that's perfect.
I think they
had
had
the nosebleeds, it'll be perfect seating.
They had SummerSlam. Oh, was it in Rhode Island? No, it was in Long Island, I think, back in like 10 years ago. 02. Yeah, Nassau. It's a great show.
What I don't get is why they just randomly closed down Izod.
Just out of nowhere, yeah.
Just like, yeah, we're done.
Well, like in a month, I'm sorry, we're done here. And they closed
I could still see it going to Barclays, but like I said, it's all about the dates and stuff.
Yeah, with all the games they have,
basketball's over by then.
Yeah, what would be in the concerts and stuff like that, too. I don't know what... SummerSlam takes precedence, in my opinion, but
it should just go to MetLife. They're so stupid. They
go
can
back
make so much money. They can make so much money, even though it's like...
I want to see them go back to Madison Square Garden, dude.
I could care less about MSG.
MSG is great.
I've never been there, but
it's a great
I'm
arena.
just dumping MSG because I'm not from New York.
Yeah. But
still, though. I just think, like, if they start, like, making SummerSlam, like, the legit WrestleMania of the summer...
They did. I think they have in the last couple of years.
So much money.
They
should start doing, like, the stadium setting for SummerSlam.
I could see that, yeah. They got to make it mean more, that's all. The build, I think
it still does mean a lot.
It does. The last couple of SummerSlams have been pretty good.
What was the main event last year?
Lesnar and Cena.
Oh, yeah, and
the year before
squash.
Was Cena and Bryan.
They need to have Cena and Bryan again, so.
Yeah, they need to do that again at some point. But, hopefully. Yeah. But still, though, next Tuesday night, talking about NXT Rival, NXT TakeOver. It's going to be great reviewing that show. Fastlane on the Fastlane to Road to WrestleMania. So I'm looking forward to that, even though it's like one of the worst pay-per-view names in WWE history. We're still going to be talking
almost
about
as bad as Breaking Point.
Nothing beats Capital Punishment or Over the Limit. I think those were the worst names
Capital
in WWE
Punishment was
history.
the worst pay-per-view ever besides December to Dismember.
Or Hell in a Cell.
No, the legit Capital Punishment pay-per-view sucked, though. I think
that
it was like
a terrible
R-Truth and John Cena main event.
The main event of the show.
And little Jimmy threw water in R-Truth's face.
What a great main event. What a great way to close off that show. But that's how we're going to close off this show. WrestleRant Radio. We'll catch you guys next week.